The latest visitor to Lincoln's High Street Waterstones branch was crime writer Peter Robinson, promoting his new novel, Friend of the Devil. He took the time to talk to us about the continuing popularity of his series characters, Inspector Banks and Danny Cabot.
Well, it's popular with me because there are still things I can find out about him. You know, I've not plumbed his depths as a character. I mean, there's lots of stuff left for me to learn about him. With the readers, I think it's partly the same thing, and it's partly also that he's not, he's sort of an ordinary bloke in so many ways, that you know, he's not exceptional, he doesn't stand out. He's the kind of guy you might like to have a drink with. And I think people can just relate to him, you know, because in some ways he's not that much different from the rest of us. He's getting older much more slowly than I am, so, you know, that's okay. And, you know, what people sort of forget is that you do a book a year, more or less, but yet the cases don't take place a year apart. They may just be months apart. So he doesn't actually age a year between every book, so he stays always a little bit younger than me. Annie has got a long way to go. I mean, and you know, the interesting thing there is that if for some reason Banks faded into the background a little for whatever reasons, then Annie could certainly take the main role in a book at some point. The only characters that I really have a strong sense of before I begin, apart from the ongoing characters like Banks and Annie and that, are the victims, you know, because they're the first ones we really meet. And as I say, they already at that point have no voice of their own, so someone else has to tell their story. In some ways it's giving a life and a voice to people who've lost it. And that's what the books do in some way. In Friend of the Devil, in terms of their personal lives, Banks is having a reasonably good time, Annie's having a reasonably bad time. I'll probably reverse that a little bit in the next one, so, you know, Annie's feeling better and, you know, poor old Banks doesn't get to be happy for very long. That's usually what happens. I mean, he's not going to stay happy for that long. People would get bored if he did.